Hello everyone, welcome to my class. In our class today, we shall be looking at personality development. First and foremost, I want us to define the term personality development. Personality refers to individual differences in characteristics, patterns of thinking, feelings, and behavior or behaving. And there are quite a number of factors that determines individual personality. So at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to look at factors that influence our personality. First and foremost, we have heredity. Heredity is the passing of traits to offsprings. It is a biological process whereby genetic factors are transmitted from one generation to the next. Genetic factors influence people's personality as well as the physical characteristics such as body size, height, weight, eyesight, and physical defects. The other factor that greatly influences personality is the environment. The environment plays a role in shaping an individual. In this context, the environment means the sum total of all the surroundings and conditions that affect the growth and development of an individual. Both the environment and the genes are interdependent and form an inseparable process called nature, that is heredity, nurture, that is the environment, determinism. This kind of environment where one lives, the kind of environment where one lives, is socialized in, and interacts with determines his own personality. Environmental influences include family, gender, culture, as well as cognitive and emotional influences. I would like us to look at these environmental influences, and we want to begin with the family before we move and look at the other factors as well. Family. The family influences on a child can be categorized in three main ways. One, communication. The members of a family have direct communication amongst themselves. This helps children to take note of verbal and nonverbal language, which in turn helps them acquire values, attitudes, and beliefs that influence their personality. The other way that family influences personality is molding. Parents shape their children's behavior according to their familial or societal expectations in order to conform and fit into the society. Identification. Children identify with the family or with the people they interact with. They like, they admire, and they love. The first people are usually the parents. The family is the strongest determinant of personality because of the following. The home environment is the first place, the first environment where children are born and brought up. This environment determines the behavior the child acquires, hence their personality. The child spends a relatively long time at home with the family members before he or she is socialized into the outside world. The family members, especially the parents, control a child's behavior by exerting authority, correcting behavior, rewarding good conduct, and reinforcing positive behavior. The family control is also more consistent and permanent than the external control. Children establish emotional attachment to the people who are near them. Finally, the family offers physical and emotional security to young children by protecting them and by sharing joys and their successes. Looking at the family, I want us to look at the birth order. The child's birth order in the family influences the personality of the child. Know, though, that it is not the birth order that determines personality, but a treatment, the approach, or a perception that a child is given in the family that influences their personality. Notably, I want us to look at the characteristics or the traits that are exhibited by the first child. These are the characteristics of their firstborns in the family. They are less open to new ideas and experiences. They show seriousness on issues. They tend to be anxious and more temperamental about their status. They are more responsible. They are more ambitious and organized. They tend to be more academically successful and tend to be bossy because of their authority to command others. They are energetic and tend to do more tasks for a long time, even without assistance. They are more assertive and dominant. They are more confirming and dependent on parents for guidance and assurance because they are overprotected as children. They are less easily influenced by group pressure, and they also tend to show feelings of insecurity because of sibling rivalry. What about the lastborns? Allow me to look at the characteristics or the traits of the lastborn children. They are usually given fewer responsibilities and are less is expected from them by the other members of the family. They are usually open to ideas. They are trusting and accommodative of others. They are easygoing and dependent on others. They are more adventurous and like moving within and between places. They are more sociable and fun-loving. They are more self-conscious and self-confident. They seek excitement and affection. They are self-centered, selfish, and bossy. They are likely to be troublesome and defiant. They usually lack creativity and originality. They experience less parental insecurity. Hence, few lastborn suffer mental disorders. They have low motivation to achieve and worry less because little is expected of them. Now, let's look at the middle-born children. They do not closely identify with family. They tend not to use family terms when speaking. For instance, the use of friend rather than sister or a brother. They are less likely to ask for parental help in an emergency. They are less likely to report having been loved as a child, and they are compared toddler siblings, and they are likely to live farther from parents and less likely to visit parents. Now, as we continue looking at the factors that influence personality development, the other factor that comes out very strongly is the school. The school also influences children's personalities. For example, how teachers, other children, and workers around the school view the child, that one influences their personality. Gender. Differences among females and males in personality. Gender differences in individuality and social connectedness shows ways in which males and females try to resolve moral dilemmas. Females tend to focus more on social relationship, whereas males tend to score higher in traits reflecting independence and individuality. Women also tend to be more empathetic and are more nurturing than men. Now let's look at the culture. Culture is a way of life of people. Cultural differences affect behavior and people's view of themselves. People in different cultures have personality traits that are more valued in their culture. Now, let's now turn to emotional influences. Emotions help to guide us to approach some things and withdraw from others. They also provide visual signs that guide others to take note of our thoughts and desires. Negative reactions arise usually from being deprived of love and results in people portraying negative emotions such as hatred, guilt, fear, irritability, and deviance. This seriously harms personality development. Cognitive or intellectual influence. Problem-solving skills and personal adjustment to the environment is determined by the individual intellectual abilities. It determines how one perceives and judges self in relation to the world and others around them. Individual differences. Individual differences is also another very strong influencer of personality development. Individuals differ in physical and other aspects of their bodies. The following are some of the aspects that influence personality. The physical. The physical aspects of the body include the body size, build, and color. The physical aspects of the body include body size, shape, build, and color. These aspects greatly determine self-image, the way one looks at self in relations to others. Body image directly and indirectly influences behavior because it determines one's abilities and inabilities. For example, very short people may not be able to do certain things. On the other hand, very tall people may have difficulty doing some things that short people may be able to do. As we wind up, let's continue looking at the aspects, other individual and differences, or the aspects of personality development. Attractiveness is usually perceived differently from culture to culture. For example, in some culture, being fat is considered as beauty, while in the others, it is frowned upon and is considered as a sign of poor health. Health condition. A person's health status influences their personality directly or indirectly. In a direct sense, it affects one's self-concept because a sick person or a person in poor health has changed appearance and looks dull. Physical defects. People with physical defects view themselves as different from others, and this influences their personality development. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are the factors that influence personality development. Thank you very much.